Hello and welcome to a long wrap-up. In June, I ended up reading 12 books, although some might debate that it's not in fact 12, but let's just get into the stats. In terms of genre, I read 1 fantasy book, which is weird for me, 6 romance books, and 5 thrillers. And then in terms of star rating, I read 2 5 stars, 1 4.5 star, 5 4 stars, 1 3.5 star, 1 3 star, and 2 2 stars. And in total, I read 3,217 pages. So the first book I read in June was Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. This follows the second sister in this series that is obviously Dani. She works as a teacher, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. And it's about her ending up fake dating the security guard there, who is actually an ex-rugby player or something. So he's kind of famous. I gave this a 5 star. Loved this. I loved Zaf. I loved Dani. I basically just really liked this. Not as much as Chloe, but I loved this anyways. I give it a 5 stars though. Next is actually a book I did not read. I DNF'd it. It is called The Book of Azrael. I don't remember who it's by, but as usual, I'll leave a picture of the book cover somewhere so you can kind of read who it's by. I read 140 pages of this and just gave up. Yeah, I don't really remember, nor do I care. I just know that I did not like it. The next book that I read is The Starburst Effect by Kelly Oram. I'm not really sure. This follows 2 characters, Noah and Lily. One day, Noah, which is the bad boy of the school, gets into a really bad accident whilst playing football, and he gets a condition in his brain called the Starburst Effect. He basically forgot how to talk, say certain words, and struggles a lot to read and stuff like that. Before that accident, he was a very mean person to Lily, the other main character, but they end up becoming friends and he needs her help to do a project, which is writing a book. He obviously can't do that by himself, and she's really good at writing. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but whatever. I really liked this. I gave it a 4 star. I really liked their romance, even though it didn't make... some things about it didn't make sense to me. I really like the main character Lily because she's so relatable to me because I was bullied in high school. She's a really sweet character and I really liked her. I also really liked Noah after the accident. In the book, there were several characters that had like a redemption arc or whatever. There was Noah's best friend. His was fine. Obviously Noah, because he was a bully, and his was also good. He apologized even though he didn't really remember anything. And thirdly was Lily's best friend, and she does not deserve the redemption she got at the end of the book. She should have like been cut off. But other than that, the only other critiques I have were that it was very predictable, but I say that a lot, and the ending was too perfect, wrapped in a pretty little bow. So I don't know. Apart from that, I really liked it. Really cute romance. So the next book I read was the last book of the Brown Sisters trilogy called Act Your Age, Eve Brown. And this follows the youngest sister, and she ends up getting a job at this bed and breakfast that is owned by a really OCD, uptight man. Forgot his name. Called Jacob. I gave this a 4. It wasn't as good as the first 2 books, which is kind of sad, but whatever. It just was not for me as much as the other 2. I still liked it. I gave it a 4. Once again, I really loved Talia Hibbert's ability to make the characters' banter so fun. The smut is also great. But there were things just like bothered me. One of the things I hate in books are quirky characters. So like a character swearing not swear words is annoying to me. I don't like it. I don't like people saying fudge sticks, or I don't remember anything else, but I don't like that. Their romance felt a little bit too fast for me. They went from hating to loving really fast. And also the miscommunication in this was not great. I liked the miscommunication, how it was dealt with in the first book. This one, not so much. But I still really liked it, and I love this series, so. This next book is where I think it's 5 books, but some other people might think it's just 1. But it's a compendium? Is that what these are called? I don't know. It's 5 books in one, so it's 5 books. To me, it's 5 books. Whatever, we're gonna leave it. My Goodreads goal needs its help. 5 books, Mindfuck Series by St. Abbey, which, fun fact, I discovered Stabby. This follows 2 characters, Logan and Lana. Lana is a serial killer who is killing off a list of people she's wanted revenge on since she was young, whatever. And then we follow Logan, who is an FBI agent who obviously has her case. This was great. I'm so glad I listened to TikTok and bought this and read this. It's not an amazing book. If I was gonna like think about this as like a good quality book, it's not. There's grammar issues, there's issues in general, but it was entertaining and that's all I care about. If it's entertaining, it is worth it. And this was very much worth it. As a whole, I gave this series a 4.5, but I did rate each book individually because 5 books again. The first book, which I have forgotten the names of every single book. The first book is called The Risk and I gave that a 4-star. The second one, Sidetracked, I gave a 4.5. Scarlet Angel and All the Lies, which are book 3 and 4, I gave 4 stars. And the last one, Painted All Red, I gave a 4.5. Love them all. This was really addicting. Each book is around 150 pages, so they're really fast. It's really addicting to read. I read this in a span of 2 days, mostly because I had stuff to do. But if I didn't, I think I would have read this in 1 day. I really like the characters. The smut is fun. It's not the focus though, which I thought it was. The plot twists are fun. Sometimes predictable. The ending was the best thing of my life. I didn't really expect it, so it was great. The only thing though is Logan is kind of stupid, but if he wasn't, I don't think this book would have gone well. I really like this. Fun, fresh, highly recommend. TikTok for once did something good. The next book that I read was another arc that is Hooked by A.C. Wise, which is kind of a sequel to Wendy Darling, which I read last year. I didn't really like it. I gave it a 3.5 if I remember correctly. But I was still interested in reading the sequel, so I asked for it and I gladly got it. Gladly. It basically follows Captain Hook, kind of his storyline, and also Jane in her more adult years, whereas the first one followed Wendy and Jane as a child. I gave this a 2-star. I don't know. The first book was really creepy and mysterious, and this didn't have any of that in it, so I didn't like it. I was expecting creepiness and I just got a old pirate and shadows and Jane, which is an annoying character and I don't like her. I really don't like Jane. She's supposed to be an adult in this book, but she just acts like a teenager that's angsty all the time and hates her mom. Hook's storyline was kind of boring. I was expecting more. There is a relationship between him and one of the other sailors, which was cute, but like they had 0 chemistry. So I don't know about that. And also, he keeps his skull. Don't ask me why. I thought it was creepy. I think it was supposed to be cute. Hello? I don't know. I didn't really like it. I don't think it was for me. I'm not really a historical fiction kind of gal, so that might have been a factor as well, but overall just not for me. The next book I read was Felix Ever After by Kaysen Calendar, which is about a transgender boy. He's also queer, and one day when he goes into school, somebody has outed his dead name to the whole school, and it follows basically him trying to find out who did it, but also being convinced it was somebody who did it and trying to catfish them. If that made any sense. I don't know. Once again, I didn't really like this as much as everyone else. I gave this a 3-star, which isn't bad, but like it's not my favorite. I don't know. I really liked the friendships in this. Ezra was a really good friend. Leah at the end was also a really fun friend. The romance between 2 characters that I don't want to say because it's kind of a spoiler. I didn't feel like there was any chemistry. They felt more like friends. Also, there's a love triangle-ish in this, and I didn't like it. I didn't get it. The plot point of finding out who did the outing was okay. I don't understand why the person who actually did it was a random person that nobody cares about, but whatever. Also, one thing that I hate in books, if you're new here, hello, is references. I hate them so much, especially if they are unnecessary. Like an example I have is when I was reading Legendborn, they just mention that somebody's wearing a Star Wars shirt for no reason. Hate that. Anyways, this has 400 million references. I just feel like there were way too many references in this, and I hated that. Basically, a fun book. It was a fast read. It was interesting to read. I liked his discovery of himself and his identity and stuff like that. There's a lot of diverse characters, shitty characters, great characters, all of the above, but like, I don't think this was for me. I don't know, maybe something's wrong with me. I keep feeling bad for disliking books that everyone loves. The next book that I read was another arc called How to Kiss Your Best Friend by Jenny Proctor, which follows two characters. The guy, I forgot his name, has been in love with his best friend, I think her name was Kate, for over a decade, and she doesn't know that. And they've been kind of estranged, I think that's the word, for a few years now, because he still lives in their old hometown. She moved away, so they don't really talk anymore. But where this book takes place, she comes back to their small town, and then things happen. I don't know. I gave this a 3.5. It was okay, I guess. The romance was cute. They had really good banter and tension in the beginning of the book, mostly. But I was like waiting for smut, clearly. Hello? There wasn't any. The female main character, Kate, I think, really pissed me off. I don't really like her. At the end, I was okay with her, but like, I don't know. Her behavior towards the guy was iffy. I felt more that she fell in love with his body because he got a glow up, more than him. But whatever. I really liked Brody and his family. This is part of a series, and it's about him and his brothers. That's basically all my thoughts about it. It's a good book, wholesome characters, but like I think I'm gonna forget about it in a month. So, nothing too memorable, you know? And the last book that I read is called The Hate Zone by Gigi Bloom. And this is about a rich girl and her driver, basically. The girl is called January. She's the daughter of a really rich man, sort of Paris Hilton-y vibes. The driver, Enrique or whatever, it feels weird to say Latin names with an English accent, but whatever. Enrique is a driver. He has a really big family. Again, kind of like the last book. His family was great. And he hates her, and she hates him. And that's how the book goes. Anyways, I gave this a 2-star. Not for me, didn't live, laugh, love, basically. January starts off as a spoilt person with 0 brain cells going on in there. A quote that stuck to me was, the driver, his car is a bougie brand, I forgot which one, but not the one the girl wanted, and so she says to her dad, "So why didn't you buy another Bentley? I can't be seen in this." Whatever. But then suddenly, halfway through the book, she's an angel, she fell from the sky, and she's gracing us with her presence. She doesn't say any more spoiled shit. I don't get it. I don't understand how her personality changed like that. Enrique was less annoying. He was okay. He was very unprofessional though, so I don't understand how that works. He instantly is really rude to her, which doesn't make any sense to me if you're trying to do a job. I did like his family, as I said. I loved their family. And finally, some pretty decent bilingual representation in books. I've seen some really bad stuff. But it was pretty accurate in my opinion. I'm bilingual, fun fact, if you didn't know, hello. As for the romance, they have 0 chemistry. None. 0. Their banter sometimes was fun, but I didn't feel like they liked each other like that. They randomly start pranking each other also out of nowhere. I did not understand where that came from. Also, this book is dual point of view. I felt like they had the same voice. I could not distinguish who was who, if not for the chapter name. And then the ending was really weird and rushed. I didn't like this, basically. But these books plus the arcs, that I don't remember how many arcs there were, I think it's 4. Yep, 4. Were all the books that I read in June. But that is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next weird video. Bye!